What if I told you there was a secret that could transform your life, that could help you say goodbye to poverty, but that no one ever revealed to you? It's not a magic object, nor an easy trick. It's an ancient principle, bound up in wisdom and faith, that families around the world still use today to change their destinies. In this video, you'll discover incredible stories. Ordinary people in Nigeria, Syria, Indonesia, and even in our modern cities, who have transformed their lives through small, simple actions. And later, I'll reveal what you too can hide under your bed to attract prosperity and protect your future. Before you discover this secret, tell me, do you believe that a simple daily gesture can really change your life? Write in the comments what you would do to transform your life if you knew that a small gesture could change everything. Step 1. Real stories and lessons from the Quran. Today, families around the world are transforming their lives through small habits repeated with discipline and faith. These often unobtrusive gestures have the power to protect, uplift, and attract prosperity, even when things seem difficult. At Nigeria, women have created community savings groups. Each week, they put aside a small bill, sometimes slipping it under the mattress. Individually, it's nothing, but collectively, it helps fund children's schooling or start small businesses. In Uganda, refugees without access to banks began hiding small savings in boxes at home. A few months later, these collective funds were used to buy seeds and restart agricultural production, ensuring the survival of an entire village. The Quran emphasizes this wisdom in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:61. The example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is like a grain that produces 7 ears. Each ear contains 100 grains. Allah multiplies the reward to whom He wills. These stories show us that we should not underestimate the small gestures, even invisible ones. It is not the object we hide or the money we set aside, but the intention, the discipline, and the faith that multiply the blessings. Before you discover the secret you can put under your bed, think, what small actions could you start today to create big blessings tomorrow? Do you know a story where a small, regular action changed someone's life? Share it in the comments. Your experience could inspire others. Step 2. The secret to hide under the bed. The time has come to reveal to you the secret I have been talking about from the beginning. It is not an amulet, nor a magic ticket. What you must hide under your bed is not material. It is a notebook of gratitude, foresight, and small daily actions. In this notebook, you can write every donation you make, no matter how small, every act of kindness towards someone, every little bit saved for the future, verses from the Quran or prayers that remind you that true wealth comes from Allah. Why it works? Like the Prophet, Yusuf, Joseph, peace be upon him, who stored grain for 7 years of famine, Quran 12:47. This symbolic gesture allows you to prepare your future. In the real world, families in Turkey or to Pakistan do the same thing. They set aside small amounts of food or money to redistribute them when the difficulty strikes. This is foresight, inspired by faith. The bed then becomes a symbol. Each page of this notebook is a seed planted for your prosperity. Each saved bill, an act of discipline. And each verse or prayer, a reminder that true wealth comes from gratitude and faith. What you hide under your bed isn't a secret to making instant money. It's a powerful symbol. Discipline, gratitude, and faith attract real and lasting prosperity. If you had to start your notebook under your bed tonight, what would you write first? Share it in the comments and inspire others to do the same. Inspiring real stories. A taxi driver at the Cairo hid his savings and donations for orphans in a notebook under his mattress. Within a few months, he was able to feed several children and inspire his entire neighborhood. Refugees. In Syria, slip verses from the Coran and small savings into boxes under their beds, transforming the fear of poverty into a sense of security and hope. Hiding this notebook under your bed is simple, yet powerful. Every daily gesture becomes a blessing, and every page becomes a step toward abundance. Step 3. Stories of transformation and multiplication of blessings. Now that you know what you can hide under your bed, let's see how this simple gesture can transform your life and the lives of others. At Cairo, a taxi driver hid a small notebook under his mattress. Each day, he wrote down a donation he had made, a meal offered to a poor child, or a small amount of money he had saved. Over the months, this notebook became a symbol of his transformation. He was able to feed several orphaned children and inspire his neighbors to do the same. This discreet gesture sparked a chain of kindness throughout his neighborhood. In Syria, displaced families slip not only small savings under their beds, but also verses from the Quran. Every morning, they read these verses and remind themselves that their wealth is not measured in banknotes, but in faith, gratitude, and concrete actions for others. Even in the most difficult times, these families find serenity and security through this habit. In Indonesia, poor communities create common funds. Each member contributes a small amount, which they hide at home and record in a notebook. Over time, these funds have helped launch micro-businesses and send children to school. A simple action repeated daily transforms poverty into opportunity and collective prosperity. The Quran supports this view in Surah At-Tawbah 9:103. Take from their wealth alms, by which you may purify and bless them and do them good. Each small gesture thus becomes a seed multiplied by Allah, which grows and bears unexpected fruits. The notebook under your bed is not just a tool for you, but a catalyst for transformation for everyone around you. Every line, every piece, every verse, every prayer becomes a blessing that reaches beyond your own home. If you start noting and setting aside small actions every day, you will see how one simple gesture can create a snowball effect of blessings. Do you know someone whose small, everyday gesture has transformed their life or the lives of others? Share it in the comments. Your story could inspire thousands of people. Step 4. Poverty versus abundance, mindset and gratitude. Poverty isn't always about money. Sometimes it's about the mind. And abundance isn't just about what you have materially, but what you have in your heart, faith, gratitude, and the ability to give. To United States, a billionaire owned tens of millions of dollars, several luxurious houses, expensive cars, and yet he felt empty, anxious, and alone. Money never brought him inner peace. Conversely, in Indonesia, a poor family shares their rice with their neighbors, even when there isn't enough for everyone. Their lives are rich in meaning, solidarity, and joy. Their happiness depends not on banknotes, but on their generous spirit and gratitude for what they have. The Quran reminds us in Surah Al-Hadid 57:20. Know that the life of this world is nothing but amusement, vanity, adornment, and rivalry. Eternal life with Allah is better for those who believe and act justly. Today, communities in Kenya practice resource exchange and sharing. Even without money, they create collective prosperity. At Lebanon, in the face of inflation, families cultivate vegetable gardens and exchange their crops. This simple act transforms scarcity into abundance. The notebook under your bed can help you plan and save. But the real power is in what you hide in your heart: gratitude, generosity, and faith. It is this inner wealth that attracts lasting prosperity. Before seeking wealth in the outside world, cultivate it in your mind and heart. Prosperity begins with gratitude and giving. What do you hold in your heart that is more precious than money? Share it in the comments. Your experience may inspire others. Step 5. Practical steps to transform your daily life. Now that you know what to hide under your bed, it's time to take action. The notebook isn't magic, but it becomes a powerful tool when you use it every day with discipline, faith, and intention. 1. Note your daily actions. Every donation, however small, must be recorded. Every good deed or service done to someone is a seed planted. Even a smile or encouragement can be noted. 2. Save consistently. Set aside a few coins or bills each day in your notebook or a small box. These small savings, as shown by the story of the taxi driver in Cairo or the refugees in Syria, multiply over time and can be used to feed, help, or launch a project. 3. Write verses or prayers. Write short notes of verses from the Coran or supplications that remind people that true wealth comes from Allah. It connects you spiritually and reminds you every day of the importance of gratitude and faith. 4. Reread and reflect. Every evening or every morning, reread what you have noted. Think about what you have given, saved, or accomplished. Even a small gesture becomes a great blessing when it is conscious and intentional. 5. Share and inspire. You can show your family or friends the importance of this notebook without necessarily revealing everything it contains. Simply sharing this habit creates a snowball effect. Blessings multiply in your circle. Real examples. Families in Indonesia and to the Lebanon use this method to create community funds, transform small savings into agricultural or educational micro-projects. The taxi driver at the Cairo transformed a small notebook and a few coins into a source of support for dozens of children. The secret is not just what you hide, but how you use it with discipline, faith, and generosity. The notebook under your bed becomes a symbol of your foresight and commitment to yourself and others. Start today. One action, one line, one post, one verse, and watch how these small gestures turn into big blessings. If you were to start this journal tonight, what would be the first action you would write in it? Share it in the comments and inspire others to create their own transformation. Step 6. Spiritual deepening, faith, gratitude, and security. Beyond savings and daily actions, what you hide under your bed becomes a symbol of your faith and gratitude. True prosperity is not measured only in money, but in serenity, protection, and divine blessings. In Syria, displaced families slip verses from the Quran and small savings into boxes under their beds. Even in the most difficult times, they find serenity and a sense of security. Simply rereading these verses each morning fills them with courage and confidence. At Pakistan, poor families keep small savings and a few food grains in boxes at home. This simple habit, combined with prayer and daily gratitude, allows them to survive times of hardship and help their neighbors. The Quran reminds us in Surah Ibrahim 14:7, "If you are grateful, I will increase you in favor." Every small gesture recorded in the notebook, a charitable deed, a saving, a verse recited, becomes an expression of gratitude that attracts blessings beyond measure. The notebook under your bed is no longer just a practical tool. It becomes a daily reminder that true prosperity begins in the heart. Gratitude for what you have, faith in the future, and generosity toward others. Modern stories show this truth. A refugee mother in Lebanon writes in her notebook every day what she shares and what she is grateful for. This gives her the strength to feed her family despite the shortages and inspires other refugees to do the same. Students in Indonesia. They save a few cents a day and record their prayers and actions in a notebook. Within a few months, they were able to launch a collective project to fund school supplies for disadvantaged children. Material wealth may disappear, but what you build in your heart, with discipline and faith, remains forever. What actions or prayers do you plan to include in your journal to attract prosperity, security, and blessings? Share them in the comments to inspire others. Today, you discovered the secret you can hide under your bed. A journal of gratitude, action, and foresight. It's not magic, but the combination of discipline, faith, and generosity that transforms poverty into lasting prosperity. The stories you've seen, from the taxi driver in Cairo, to the refugee families in Syria, to the communities in Indonesia and Lebanon, show that small gestures repeated with faith can create miracles. This notebook under your bed becomes your symbol of blessings, security, and spiritual and material success. Don't let this video be just a passive observation. Start your notebook under the bed tonight. Every gesture counts, every word counts, every piece counts. Share in the comments what you will write or put in your notebook tonight. Inspire others and start transforming your life now.